The Daily Brief. With me, Samuel Njoroge at Sam W. Njoroge online at K24 TV. That's on Twitter. Let's talk. Kindly tell us what you think about the stories that we're running by you this far, as well as any other comment, suggestion that you have for the show today. Now, we need to take you to court. We did promise you that we'll be expecting a major ruling to be coming forth from the court today. It's all about a judgment over 22,000-acre piece of land currently owned by Delmonte company, and this particular ruling will be delivered by a three-judge bench. So let's cross over and listen in to Honorable Lady Justice Wilfrida Okwany.
Petition, but only those that are legitimate. The first respondent questioned the petitioner's claims of contribution to the economy or the efficacy of its corporate social responsibility. Reference was made to annexure number SKM2, in which the relevant parliamentary committee had allegations that trespassers to the suit property were mauled by the petitioner's dogs and their bodies dumped in the adjacent, in the lakes, in which, I'll take that again. Reference was made to annexure SKM2, in which the relevant parliamentary committee had allegations that trespassers to the suit property were mauled by the petitioner's dogs and their bodies dumped into lakes adjacent to the pineapple farms. The first respondent also claimed that the petitioner's business has damaged the environment through the use of hazardous pesticides. It also contended that the petitioner engages in unfair labor practices. The first respondent stated that it requires land for urbanization and housing and to achieve Vision 2030. Its learned counsel submitted that the county forms part of the Nairobi metropolitan regions as per Gazette Notice of 22nd March 2013, which was an annexure STM3 to the first respondent's affidavit. The first respondent stated that it requires 6,000 acres for the proposed Murang'a City at Kabati area. It argued that the neighboring coffee estates have been converted into housing and industrial estates such as Thika Greens Golf Estate, Tatu City, and Home Africa. It therefore contended that extension of leases is subject to the Constitution and the need for land for public use. It further contended that there should be public participation before letters of no objection can be issued. The first respondent submitted that there were alternative dispute resolution mechanisms under Section 33 as read with Section 13 of the Physical Planning Act. In its view, the sections provide an efficacious and satisfactory remedy. Instead of exhausting those remedies, the petitioner lodged the petition. The first respondent relied on the case of R versus Kenya Revenue Authority, ex parte interactive gaming and lotteries, in which case Dunga Jai stated, and I quote, "In my view, specialized bodies established under statutes ought to be given leeway to conduct their proceedings freely without unnecessary interference by the court," end of quote.
We expect that ruling to be coming forth from the courts today. A three-judge bench will be giving a ruling of a court battle that has dragged for decades between Delmonte Processing Company and Murang'a County residents. More details in as far as that story is concerned in the course of time right here at K24 TV. However, right now, we need to take you back to Nakuru County and bring in our reporter K24 Mwangi. He's still in studio. He will tell us whether he's recorded a track or not so far. So K24, take it away.
Yes, Sam, indeed, I am still at Simba Recording and Live Studios, whereby we are checking exactly when these CBC products from primary school go to high school, and then after that they are released into the market, what can they offer? We have self-trained producers and also instrumentalists with us here. When we talk as the government, or when the government talks about embracing talent, what are they talking about? Where are these CBC products are going to be absorbed? Some of them are going to be recording artists, some are going to be musicians, some are going to be guitarists, others keyboardists. What are they going to be going through? Is the government ready to start other studios, to start national studios or county studios, or even local artist recording studios, so that they can absorb those people who are going to be produced from the CBC kind of education system? And now joining me is one of the entrepreneurs who has invested heavily in this production house. His name is Wamushembe Junior. Karibu sana K24. Pengine unaweza kutuambia ulianza vipi hii kazi, na pengine umekuwa ukifunza watu, na ni shida gani ambayo mnawapitia kama nyinyi ambao mko katika muziki, katika hali ya kutoa muziki?
Okay, kwa majina yangu naitwa Wamushembe Junior. Mimi ndiye producer na pia mimi ndiye director hapa Simba Sound Live Recording, na nimekuwa nikifunza watu wengi kuproduce nyimbo, pia kucheza guitar and also drums, and I am also doing currently keyboard training.
Nani alikufunza hizi vitu? Ulijuaje kwamba uko na hii talent?
Okay, mine is a talent from God, kwa sababu kama ni keyboard, guitar, drums sijafunzwa na mtu. Production pia ni mimi nimejifunza. Yeah.
Kuna wale watu ambao wanasema serikali huenda inaanza kukuza wale watoto wakija wakiwa na vipawa. Je, unaona kama kwamba vipawa vimewasaidia?
Vipawa vimesaidia watu wengi, and I support the government 100%. I support the government, hivyo wanasema hii curriculum yenye mtu ile talent uko nayo ianzie ukiwa mdogo, iletwe mpaka ukiwa mkubwa.
Naam.
Yeah.
Tumekuwa na mazishi mengi ambayo kwamba wale musician wameweza kuzikwa, na kukawa na ahadi kwamba kutatengenezwa studios, kutatengenezwa sako, kutatengenezwa hali ambayo nyinyi kama musician na producers mtaweza kufaidika. Je, mmeweza kufaidika kutokana na serikali?
Wengi wetu hatujafaidika because many are fake promises. Wametudanganya tutaweka studio mahali fulani, siku zinaenda, miaka inaenda, hatujaona mabadiliko yoyote.
Naam. Yeah. Pengine tunaweza kuzungumza na mwanamuziki ambaye namuona hapa anaitwa Sizo. Atuambie Sizo, wewe ni recording artist.
Yeah, I'm a singer. Ati niweke juu. Haki baba we niweke juu. Nifanye nione yale mambo mimi siyoona.
Sizo, kumekuwa na tetesi kwamba wanamuziki ambao wanatoka katika miji mingine wanakubalika sana katika mji wa Nakuru kuliko nyinyi ambao ni wenyeji wa hapa.
Kapsa na kwamba
jambo la kushangaza ni kwamba wengi wa wale wasanii wengi wametoka hapa Nakuru. Kwa sababu ukiangalia Kenya nzima iko na mastaa wengi ambao wametoka county yetu ya Nakuru, na wananawiri sana Kenya nzima.
Naam. Pengine mnasikia kwamba mumetengwa na serikali za ugatuzi na serikali kuu katika hali ya malipo. Pengine unaona kwamba kuna usawa katika malipo ambayo yanalipwa wale wasanii wanakuja na nyinyi pia?
Kuna tofauti kubwa na wasanii Kenya, niseme Kenya nzima. Wasanii Kenya nzima wanaumia kwa sababu malipo ni duni. Na serikali kama ingefanya vizuri ingeweka mikakati za kuhakikishia kwamba yale malipo Kenya nzima za wasanii inakuwa kwenye policy. Kwa sababu kitu ambacho kinasumbua wasanii Kenya nzima ni kwamba in every county kuna zile county ambazo hawana policy, na kama hamna policy then hamna kitu ambacho wasanii watafaidi. So mimi hapa hivi leo ningesema kwamba county ama wasanii katika county mbalimbali wapiganie issue ya policy, kwa sababu ikiwekwa kwenye sheria ya county ya kwamba msanii alipo shilingi 1,100 itakuwa hivyo.
Kumekuwa na mipango ya wabunge kwenda kupeleka mipira, neti za kuchezea pale na kutengeneza viwanja vya kuchezea. Na hayo ni mambo ambayo tunayakubalia. Lakini nyinyi kama katika sekta ya muziki, pengine mmenunua keyboard, drum set, vitu kama vile?
Nitasema kwamba unajua labda maproducer wale independent wamenunua zao. Sisi wasanii labda za kufanya mazoezi kwa nyumba zetu tumenunua. Za serikali ni haba sana. Hapa Nakuru County nimeona juzi ni kama kuna studio ambayo imekuwa launched na ipo studio. lakini sasa tumelaunch studio ipo, lakini sasa wasanii bado wanalipa ile studio. So bado hainiingii kwa sababu mimi kama msanii nina pesa zangu binafsi, naenda nikampata my friend producer akanifanyia kazi yangu, unaona. So inafaa kama ile kama county itaamua kutengeneza studio, all the 47 counties itaamua kutengeneza studio za wasanii, basi na wasanii wa record muziki wao bure bilashi.
Wewe ni mtu ambaye kwamba umekuwa ukiwasaidia wasanii kuweza kujirekodi, kuweza kujitegemea. Kwa sasa mnafanya bajeti ya pesa ngapi katika vifaa ambavyo mnanunua vya kurekodi, guitar, keyboard ile na pia drum set?
So wakati tunanunua hizi vifaa, tunanunua kwa bei.
Na pengine ungeanza na jina.
Mimi naitwa Frank wa KBB, manager wa wasanii wote Rift Valley. Nikijibu swali lako ni ya kwamba hizi vyombo tunanunua kwa bei ya gharama, bei ya juu sana. So wakati tunanunua hizi vifaa, tunanunua ili zitusaidie. Na kama wakati tunasikia county government wameweka studio na hii studio imeanza kutumika, ili hali hata wasanii wanaambiwa waende bado wanalipa. So na wale wasimamizi ambao wako kwa ile studio si wasanii. So kwanza kuna ile kitu moja tulikuwa tunaomba county government ya Nakuru, wale wasimamizi ambao wanasimamia sekta zote za usanii, wacha wawe wasanii, kwa sababu hapo ndipo unakuta wasanii wanafinyiliwa. Na kama vile unaona wa Muchembe ameweza kuweka hii studio yake, kuna ile ametumia pesa mingi sana, na akiwa serikali kuu haitaweza kushika hawa wasanii mkono, sisi wenyewe tunaumia, tunaenda kuinvest privately, lakini ile kuumia yenye tunaumia kwa sababu hakuna ile support yenye tunapata kupitia muziki.
Naam. Na pengine kwa kidogo sana tuweze kusikia kakangu hapa. Wewe utatuambia jina na pengine umetoka wapi na unafanya nini?
Mimi nimezaliwa hiyo mji wa Nakuru na mimi pia ni mwanamuziki, naitwa LK. Wimbo wangu inaimbwa hivi.
Tusimbe wimbo kwa sasa, nieleze haswa ni matatizo yapi ambayo unapitia?
Matatizo ya kisanii yenye tunapitia challenges mob sana. Kama hivi unaweza nini kifedha hivi, saa zingine bado unacheki, bado unataka jikimu kimaisha, unaona. Bado unataka mambo mingi za kimaisha na bado unataka kurekodi muziki. Pale inakuja ni challenge, labda una pesa, unaona.
Ombi lako kwa serikali kuu na kwa serikali za county?
Ishikilie wasanii. Ikiweza shikilia wasanii kwa undani inaweza kuwa mzuri sana.
Kwa hivyo sio kila mtu ni mchezaji wa mpira.
Sio kila mtu mchezaji wa mpira. Kuna mwingine muimbaji, kuna pia yani kila mtu ana talanta zake, talanta tofauti. Zenye Mungu alitupatia talanta, tunazita talanta, si talaka yani.
Asante.
Ndio hivyo.
Limekuwa ni jambo. It has been a very good morning interacting with these people. Pardon me, I had gone to Swahili. And now, as usual, our Friday has been, we look into talent, education, and also matters to do with youth empowerment. And from here, I'm going to be joined by some of the educationists and also leaders from this area, and also parents who are going to be talking about education, stress in school, and also the rise in cases of suicide in this area. But as usual in Friday, we leave you in a Feel Good Friday. My name is Kigodho Mwangi, my camera person is John Wangombe, and as our producer Mushembe puts on a music, as we say, some I have not produced, I am going to produce a song for you. God bless you. Back to you, Sam, in studio.
The Friday feeling coming forth from Nakuru today. It would have been quite a shame, really, Kegotho, if we went to a studio in the midst of content creators and not even come forth with a track or two. So we'll hold you to that, Kegotho, and we'll definitely keep tabs and see what quality of music you churn for us from Nakuru today. In the spirit of Friday, feel good. That's it. The brief that we are getting from Nakuru today. Now, other stories that we are getting from our regions across the country, let's just bring you right here in Nairobi and just bring you up to speed with what is happening at the Sarova Stanley today. We've got the 42nd General Council session of the Organization of Africa Trade Unions Unity. Now, it's being hosted by the Central Organization of Trade Unions, and that right there is Brother Francis Atwoli, the man at the helm of KOTU. So let's listen in to what he's saying.
Peace. As a result of the violence following the 2007 elections, former United Nations, as I've said, Kofi Annan, had to come to work out and see. And indeed, on I think it was around April 17th of this 2008, when we firstly celebrated the coalition government between those who had claimed to have won election and his team. In 2013, he ran again for president again, narrowly losing. At first challenging the results, when the Supreme Court upheld them, he conceded the elections. In 2017, he ran for elections again as a president, in which he lost, challenged the results at the Supreme Court, and won after the Supreme Court nullified the results of the presidential vote. That was the first elections in this country to be contested and be nullified. A new presidential election was ordered to take place in October of the same year, but the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga refused to participate, terming it already predetermined. So he saw no need again of going to be humiliated for what would be obvious results. He was later to be sworn in at a public rally as the people's president, in a move that threw the country into a political confusion. As the then victor of the elections was being sworn in, he had also his day and he was sworn in. And he remains in the minds of Kenyans as people's president. On March 9, 2018, and I want to give you a very brief history before this March event. In January 2018, I appeared on television, and I appealed to both of them, President Uhuru Kenyatta, to swallow his pride, and the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga to swallow his pride and come together for the sake of our country. Little did I know, on March 9th, after January, after 1 month, after February, the third month, that was January, on 9th, they surprised everybody when we did put on our televisions in the morning that they had had a wonderful handshake that brought lasting peace in this Republic of Kenya. Today, if you open your newspapers, you will see people talking about our new constitution. Kenya requires to revisit our constitution. I think 2 years ago, I proposed it during Labor Day, and Sister Jacqueline, you were there, and everybody saw me as a person whose head is not proper. Why am I asking Kenyan politicians and leaders to revisit the national constitution and come up with a document that is all-inclusive for the purposes of creating peace in this country? Indeed, it is now a debate in this country, and in near future, after that handshake, him and President Uhuru, they formulated a body to look into ways and means of coming up with proposals to amend the new constitution. So the labor movement can set an agenda and give guidance or bring about national guidance. We do it here in Kenya. Labor movement.
As per the order of events that is supposed to happen at the Sarova Stanley today, Brother Francis Twoli, that is Kotu's Secretary General, is expected to introduce Right Honorable former Prime Minister, that is Raila Amolo Odinga, who is the chief guest at this event. So we'll just monitor what is happening at the Sarova Stanley, and then once Raila Amolo Odinga is ready to address the delegation that is gathered for the 42nd General Council session of the Organization of Africa Trade Unions Unity. We will cross over there, listening to the quality of speech that he will deliver. However, right now, let's cross over back to the court, listening to the judgment that is being rendered today on the 22,000-acre piece of land currently owned by Delmonte, but Muranga residents went to court to, seek court intervention in as far as what they said was displacement is concerned. So let's listen in to Honorable Justice Chacha Mwita.
Sets out the jurisdiction of the ELC court. Of significance, we note is Section 3, which says, nothing in this act shall preclude the court from hearing any and determining applications for redress of denial, violation, or infringement of or threat to rights or fundamental freedoms relating to a clean and healthy environment under Article 42, 69, and 70 of the Constitution. In Karisa Chengo and the two others, this was a decision of the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal took a trip down the memory lane on the rationale behind the establishment of the ELC. The court analyzed the final report of the Committee of the Experts on Constitutional Review and observed we have set the views of the committee and as captured by the Court of Appeal. In a further appeal to the Supreme Court, in the Republic versus Karisa Chengo and the two and others, the Supreme Court rendered itself in the following manner. Article 162.1 categorizes the ELC and the ELRC among the superior courts, and it may be inferred then that the drafters of the Constitution intended to delineate the roles of ELC and ELRC for the purpose of achieving specialization and conferring equality of the status to the High Court and the new category of courts. Concurring with this view, the learned judges of the Court of Appeal in the present matter observed that both the specialized courts are of equal rank and none has the jurisdiction to supervise, direct, shepherd, and or review the mistake or real or perceived of the other. Thus, a decision of the ELC or the ELRC cannot be subject of appeal to the High Court, and none of these courts is subject to supervision or direction from another. Article 165.5 of the Constitution expressly prohibits the High Court from dealing with any matter reserved for the exclusive jurisdiction of ELC. This was successfully captured by the Supreme Court in the Republic versus Karisa, in the Karisa Chengo case in the following words. It follows from the above analysis that although the High Court and the specialized courts are of the same status as stated, they are different courts. It also follows that the judges appointed to those courts exercise varying jurisdictions depending upon the particular court to which they were appointed. From a reading of the state statutes regulating the specialized court, it is a logical inference, in our view, that their jurisdictions are limited to the matters provided for in those statutes. Such an inference is reinforced by a flow and flows from Article 165.5 of the Constitution, which prohibits the High Court from exercising jurisdiction in respect of matters reserved for the exclusive jurisdiction of the Supreme Court and under this Constitution or falling within the jurisdiction of the court contemplated in Article 162, sub-Article 2. The above decision conclusively settled the previously vexing question of jurisdiction of the High Court and that of the courts of equal status. I will hand over to my presiding judge to proceed.
Thank you, Judge. However, there are cases that raise cross-cutting issues that may fall within the jurisdiction of either court. In such instances, the guiding light should be the dominant issue. In Cooperative Bank of Kenya Limited versus Patrick Kang'ethe Njoroge and 5 others, the Court of Appeal adopted a double-pronged approach when considering whether a charge over land amounted to land use for which the High Court would have no jurisdiction. Firstly, the court made an exposition of the terms land and land use as follows, and I quote, Article 260 La 4 said, echoes the traditional definition of land under the common law doctrine, which translates to whoever owns the soil, it is theirs all the way up to heaven and down to hell. As with our constitution, the doctrine defines land as the surface thereof, everything above it and below it as well. Indeed, considering the above definitions, the inevitable conclusion to be drawn is that land connotes the surface of the land and all the surface above it and all below it, unquote. The above definition then set the stage for the determination of what constitutes land use. The court observed as follows, and I quote, "For land use to occur, the land must be utilized for the purpose for which the surface of the land, air above it, or ground below it is adapted. To the law, therefore, land use entails the application, all employment of the surface of the land, and all the air above it, and all ground below it, according to the purpose for which that land is adapted," unquote. Given that backdrop, the court held that a charge did not constitute land use. It distinguished land use from a charge and found that the latter is an interest in land purely for securing the payment of money or money's worth, limited to the realization of the security, which has nothing to do with the use of.
Now, it's all about a 22,000-acre piece of land that found Murang'a residents together, and Delmonte Processing Company moved to court to just iron out legal issues that ensued, courtesy of what Murang'a people said was displacement by the Delmonte Processing Company from what they had called home over a period of time. And this case has taken decades, quite literally, and today we expect a judgment to come forth from that three-judge bench. Earlier on, we had the judgment as it was read by Honorable Lady Justice Wilfrida Okwanya. We've also had Honorable Justice Chacha Mwita, and right now it is the turn of Honorable Justice Kanyi Kemondo. It is a story that will form part and parcel of our news diary right here at K24 TV. However, right now, we're taking a break, 2 hours down, 1.5 more to go. And yes, we still got you in as far as news coverage is concerned to the power of 24 right here on the Daily Brief.